Shout out to the SafeMoon fanboy that informed me my lips were dry and that I needed to use some Vaseline because of my opinion that SafeMoon would not go to $1. The good thing is, maybe my first sponsor on this channel will be none other than Burt's Bees. If so, I will make sure to give you the credit. But seriously, my opinion that it will not go to $1 is the same opinion that got me to buy ETH when it was $90, VeChain when it was 0.6 cent, and also Cardano when it was 6 cent. So if you have a difference in opinion, it's all good. This is simply my views and my thoughts on what will happen in the market. Always feel free to leave comments and let me know what you think. But seriously, welcome to the channel. Don't fall for the scammers in the comments trying to get you over to WhatsApp. It typically does not end well. I've had a number of people on the channel ask me about a certain project, and today allow me to unlock that project for you. Unlock Protocol. So in today's video, I will explain what Unlock Protocol is. I'll also explain what their use case is, as well as who is backing the project. I'm a lover of all things investing, not just crypto, but what I am not is a financial advisor. So make sure before you invest, please seek the help of a professional. If you're not aware of Unlock Protocol, there's a couple of reasons why it's time to wake up. One easy reason why the project could do very well is because it's backed by none other than Coinbase Ventures. Does this mean that it'll be listed on Coinbase tomorrow? No, but it could be a good indication that in the future, possibly even the near future, the project will gain that illustrious Coinbase listing. And the Coinbase effect is alive and real. And were that to happen, I would say that it would be great for this project and great for the price action. So first of all, let's talk about how money is made on the web. The traditional way of making money on the web is through advertising. So think about the fact, if it isn't a paid service directly, then for the most part, anywhere you are online consuming content, you are going to see some form of advertisement, and that's how the money is made. Essentially, this is no different than sitting at home watching TV or anywhere else. While you may be tuned into the show, you're going to see some advertisement. Advertisers are the ones who pay the bucks to make the content creators be able to produce the content. That's how they get paid. Now, see, in this traditional way of advertising, there is a middleman. Typically, there's a hosting site or there's a platform that you use to put the content out there, whether it's movies, whether it's television, whether it's podcast, any number of things, and you use the platform. The platform is typically the middleman, and they handle the advertising. They put it on the site or put it for viewers to see, and that's the consumer, that is, and that is how the content creator is paid. But let's take it a step further. Let me give you a real-world example of a platform that Unlock Protocol is seeking to be like in a decentralized manner. And that platform is none other than Patreon. Now, if you're not aware of Patreon, think of it this way. And you may have seen it in YouTube. Typically, you may have a YouTuber who says, hey, you should join my Patreon. I've got people in the group. You can check out extra content. So what the Patreon does is this allows consumers and content creators to kind of go directly to each other. While it still is through the Patreon site, let's say that I have some content and I say, hey, this isn't for YouTube, but if you join my Patreon at $5 a month, I will give you exclusive content. So for example, I've got some content going up on how you can start out in the bear market, and by the end of the bull cycle, you can be financially free. Now that was just an example. I do not currently use Patreon, but those who want to go over and get my exclusive content somewhat get to go directly because it's not ad-based. It's all about paid subscription directly for the content. So that's why Patreon is such a great example. But now that I've given you that example, the question is, what is Unlock Protocol and what makes it different than Patreon? With Unlock as the creator, from the Unlock dashboard, I can create a lock, which is a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. The lock includes price, curation, and duration. So that's back to the example about you wanting to see my exclusive content, provided I had some. You're going to get to see the price, the content, and how long I'm making that content available to you. Obviously, in the typical fashion, I would think that will stay open to you as long as you are a subscriber. But there also can be time-locked ways of doing that as well. So maybe the content will only be available for a month, a week, a day. You can set that and it's done in a smart contract. Hence why there is no middleman. Now, as far as the lock contract is the public contract, which users can configure and deploy to restrict access to resources such as a blog, a subset of software features, or an event. Each lock contract is an ERC-20 compliant contract capable of creating and managing NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, and they're called keys. So by using smart contracts and NFTs, the NFT will serve as the key, which has restrictions, and that's the restrictions that you would put on it as a creator, and the consumer understands those restrictions before obviously purchasing that subscription. And those NFT or keys are what allows them to access the creator's content. So I really like to stick with that theme of Patreon. This is decentralized Patreon. It says we follow ERC 1167 to deploy minimal proxies for each lock, rather than a complete public lock contract. This helps to keep deployment costs down, as well as minimizing blockchain bloat. Keys for one lock are valid only for the lock which created them. A given user may only own one lock at a time. So because of the smart contracts and being able to cut out the middleman, this should make the cost go down for the creator and also for the consumer. Now let's take just a second to look at some frequently asked questions to give you a better idea of why this protocol would be better than the traditional format. Why is Unlock better for publishers and users? With Unlock, users and publishers don't go through a middleman. This means lower friction for the user and both better conversions and prices for the publisher. It also means that anyone can run Unlock's code. You don't have to use our service. Who is Unlock for? Our first version of Unlock is for technical publishers who also control their technology platform and whose audience is technical early adopters who use a cryptocurrency wallet. How does Unlock make money? As part of our roadmap, we plan on allowing users who do not know of cryptocurrencies and have a crypto wallet to pay us, Unlock Inc. that is, with their credit card in order to perform transactions on chain for them. In that context, we will charge a convenience fee on top of the crypto price of the keys. This convenience fee will cover the gas price, the credit card transaction, and a small margin for us. So basically, get a MetaMask wallet and you're in business. If you're not into cryptocurrency or don't have that understanding, what Unlock is saying is that's fine. At that point, Unlock truly is, from what I gather, just like Patreon. They believe that that will help because if they only can lean on people who are into cryptocurrency, that is not going to help for the purpose of mass adoption, because at that point, why would they not just use Patreon? Another piece of good information about this project is it does appear that the owner is in talks with Mark Cuban. Now, Mark Cuban is one of the hosts of Shark Tank investment show, as well as a billionaire owner of the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban is an innovator. He has always been ahead when it comes to investing and seeing into the future. I've seen him talk many times about having the Dallas Mavericks tickets be NFTs. He is in cryptocurrency currently. He speaks about it quite a bit. So to have him on board is a big deal. One thing I've also heard is that Gary Vee is an investor as well. I have a little caution with that because I haven't really seen anything myself that's shown that. What I believe the connection is, I do know that Gary Vee was an early investor in Coinbase, and being that Coinbase Ventures has invested in Unlock Protocol, that would be the connection. So there could be somewhat of a connection there, but the truth is, I did not see where he directly invested. And while in any capacity, it'd be cool to have Gary Vee on board, I just don't see it that he's as on board with the mentioning of someone like the owner being in talks with Mark Cuban. Because I think I mentioned it earlier, tickets and for events. This can be one way for Mark Cuban to do what he has stated he wants to do several times and turn those tickets into NFTs. So I do like that this project is using NFTs. We know that's big in crypto right now and will continue to be. And of course, executing those smart contracts does take out the middleman, but they have an option where if you're not big into cryptocurrency, you can pay a fee. So if the protocol works well, that is going to get people over to the project, and eventually, as mass adoption of cryptocurrency comes on, they will probably get the preferred wallet, which by the way is MetaMask, and they will start using it without a middleman as well. That's the hope of Unlock Protocol. At the time of this recording, the current price of Unlock Protocol is $960.67. This is the usual place where people say it's too high and try and find something cheaper. It's important to remember that the project only has 1 million tokens as a max supply. That's what's leading to the token being almost $1,000. And it has been over $1,000, I believe as high as $1,200 at one point, and will likely continue to go up. So what makes this project so interesting? As we continue to enter the world of content creators and things like that, and we've already seen the rise of Patreon, it does only make sense that we're able to use the blockchain and smart contracts to cut out a middleman. But what I will say is, I do think it can take time. The reason for that is cryptocurrency still is not quite at mass adoption. So some of these protocols, it's going to take time for crypto mass adoption to happen before we see the mass adoption of these various protocols. And I think that's why you see this project sees a real need to continue offering a service for those who do not use cryptocurrency, because it will be kind of hard at this point for it to succeed without those other users. And you want to lure them to it. And then from there, you hope you can convert them to using cryptocurrency and being able to do it via the smart contract method without having to use Unlock Inc.'s services. I believe the project can go far. I do believe it's going to take time. I also think there could be a good deal of upside in this bull market as we are starting to get to the point where it feels like almost any project can do well. But you still have to be wise. As I said, that is somewhat of a hefty price. But with these protocols, it's not like you have to buy one whole token. So you should be able to decide how well you think it'll do. And based off of that, if you think it'll get a multiple of 5, well, regardless of whether you put $100 in or $1,000, you should be able to get a 5X if that were to happen. Myself, I am not currently invested in Unlock Protocol, but I am going to be keeping an eye on it. I do believe if this is to go on Coinbase, it is going to cause quite the craze. Please remember Yearn Finance. So when you think that $1,000 per token is high, well, people thought $1,000 for Yearn Finance was high, and it has been price-wise one of the most amazing cryptocurrencies. I mean, basically outside of Bitcoin. And that was a farmed token at that. Look, I just wanted to give a brief understanding to you all about what Unlock Protocol is and how it works. I really do believe Patreon is the best comparison. If you have more questions about it in the comments section, make sure to let me know. I personally do see this as certainly a good long-term hold, because I do think it'll take some time for the project to unfold. Make sure, hit the like button. Thanks to each and every subscriber. If you have not subscribed yet, you should consider doing so. Leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm, hit the bell for notification, and I will see you next time on Perry Unlikely.